Hey y'all, how's it going? So today I want to show you guys how to make a quick and simple little centerpiece with just flowers that I picked up at the grocery store. I think a lot of times we see these big beautiful arrangements or we watch like how-tos online of how to, self-arrange flowers, and they get a little more complicated than what you or I need just for the average party that we're going to host or just even every day. So I wanted to take you guys through this, just how I put together a quick little arrangement. It's going to take you absolutely no time, and once you watch this, you're going to feel confident to be able to go to the store, pick up some flowers from your local grocery store, and then arrange them for your celebration. It's not going to cost you a lot of money, and it's going to look beautiful. So let's dive in. All I've done so far is just take the flowers out of the package. They are still the full-length stem that I bought at the store, so they are not appropriately sized for my vase, obviously. So literally starting from nothing. What I do when I am making an arrangement from the store, and if you watch like any florist ever, they are going to tell you to start with your like greenery on the edges. We are doing this. There's no foam in here. There's no floral tape, creating a grid, which are some of the things that you will see on online tutorials. I am just loose arranging. So when I loose arrange, I always start with the big flowers first. I want to see how much space they're going to fill, where they're going to go. So in this case, I'm starting with the mums. And all I'm doing right now is just cutting them to size. And a little pro tip I did learn from a florist is you want to make sure you don't have any flowers in the water. So pull the flowers off before you stick it in. Because the flowers are what will rot. So I'm just cutting them to size. These are actually a little longer than what I want right now, so I'm just going to pull them out and trim a little bit more. It is not perfect. It doesn't have to be. Just cut and go. I need to take some more leaves off. But that's all it really is. It's just a matter of cutting them to size and sticking them in. So a tip I do have if you are going to arrange your own flowers, I have seen beautiful arrangements all over Pinterest, as I'm sure all of you have, that are like really bright and colorful, and they feel like they have this great balance to them. I struggle to replicate that myself at home, and it still feel like beautiful and not like a rainbow throughout. So when I am doing my own arrangements, specifically with grocery store flowers, I stick to a single color. Typically white, because white goes in everything. It's readily available. You can typically get white flowers in a variety of different, like, what do you call them? Species, maybe? I don't really know. But you can get white flowers, a bunch of different types of white flowers, possibly. So like these were mums. And then I also picked up some white carnations. And these are actually little baby spray carnations, which were not exactly what I wanted today, but it's all they had in the color white, so I went with it. People give carnations a bad rap. I actually don't mind a carnation, because if you take a full-size carnation and you like spin it so that it opens up, it gets really fluffy and adds some really great texture to your arrangement. So I don't mind a carnation. These carnations, again, like I said, like not my favorite, primarily because with the spray carnations, you have a bunch of little stems like all the way down. So these little short pieces get hard to incorporate. They work really well in like little bud vases. Like almost like a mason jar type of thing, like a little baby mason jar. But they're harder in arrangements like this one. So typically what I would do is actually do all of my flowers first and then come back with my greenery. But since today all I could get were the little spray carnations, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start filling in my mums with some greenery, because it's going to be a little bit more of a statement in this arrangement. and then come back and add in the little spray carnations. So another thing that a florist will tell you is that you should never use scissors on your flowers. And if my mother watches this video, she will probably kill me because my mother grew up working in a florist and you're supposed to only use knives. Well, I would injure myself, so I use scissors because no one needs to get hurt arranging flowers. So I'm just filling this stuff in. Like I said, I will go back, like once I put it in, if I don't like where it's sitting, I'll go back and, pull it out and cut it again. The beautiful thing about arranging your own flowers, or, arranging flowers in general, is it doesn't have to be perfect. As I preached 100 times about everything, nothing about parties are supposed to be perfect. They're supposed to be fun. So as long as you get the arrangement done and you like it, that's all that really matters. And there's no right way or wrong way to put together an arrangement. And if you don't feel confident in your ability to, put together something with greenery and multiple flowers and things like that, there is nothing that I love more than just like a big vase full of white hydrangeas or, all the same flower, and just cut the flowers like really, I don't know the right way to say this, like tight to the vase so they don't sit up very high, so there's not like a ton of height. But that's a simple way. If you just like throw all of the same flower in a vase and you're good to go. Like that's all you really need to do. So if you don't feel confident in your abilities, one, I encourage you to try it anyways because there really is no wrong way or right way to do this. Like I said, I'm clearly right now just like shoving things in places. And as you can see, I am, again, florists probably watching this are like, oh my God, what is she doing? Not a florist. Clearly not. But all I'm really doing is just like touching the flowers, which they say not to do because that makes the flower die faster. As I'm touching them and moving them where I want them to be until the arrangement looks how I want it to look. And this guy feels too tall, so I'm going to come back and cut it down again. Pull off that leaf. Stick them in right here at the side. This leaf is kind of dead, so I'm going to pull them off. Cut them off, because I can't pull them off. And there you go. That's that. That's all it is. I'm leaving it like it is. I could keep messing with it and touching with it, but I'd be here all day. So it looks pretty. It's perfect. It's simple. It's whites and greens, and there you go. That's all it takes, really. And, you've got something that will work well. You can see, too, with the spray carnations, you get a lot for the money, which is another reason why I love carnations. They do get such a bad rap, and another reason I love them. So what I will do, I just don't have one sitting here with me, is as soon as I'm done, I will go and grab like a little, like a baby vase, probably a mason jar, and trim these guys to size, and throw them in a mason jar, and then likely throw them in my hall bath, because why not? Or in my living room somewhere. But, ooh, little party tip before I go. Putting a little arrangement just in a bud vase, like I'm about to do with these carnations, in your guest bathroom that your guests will use during the party is a nice way to, like, add a